station into the Gotham City lights. They were collecting all of my fears. They were connecting black and white. There was a traffic jam inside my head. Was it just regret for things I said? How could I have been so unkind? Then I put my big boots on with my little tone of feelings, following the music in my head, hitting my head up on the ceiling, and I was fully dramatic, fully intense, separate from myself, way beyond the fences. I'm aware of who I am, but if ashes turn to ashes, will we all fall down? And if I pull you closer to me, tell me, will we stand up? Will we all fall down? Since everyone chooses a God convenient to their will, after all, sincerity's not hard to fake. I know that I can never get my fill, and I somebody else's drum I've been pounding into my head. But when I ask him to be quiet, he just pounds louder instead. And I know I'm marching, the people are staring, but I don't quite know what I should say. So nice to know ya, thanks for caring. I hope we meet again someday. But if ashes turn to ashes, will we all fall down? And if I pull you closer to me, tell me, will we stand up? Will we all fall
The views expressed in the following show are of the host, the guest, and the callers. The content of the following show, its accuracy, authenticity, and the ramifications of the use or application of said content is the responsibility of those speaking and listening, not the broadcast medium.
All right, we are back and we are live. I'm your host, James Southyanchik, the Black Knight of Talk Radio. Feet to the fire. Well, I don't know what the deal is, but I did tests earlier before broadcasting and did bandwidth tests and all that, and all of a sudden, YouTube is telling me that I'm not broadcasting fast enough, and it all looks fine here. I'm coming out live on a Spreker, though, so I don't know if there's no way I can get a hold of people. And just won't let me go. And now it's okay. No, we'll see. It's not letting me start the encoder. So let me just take 1 minute here to see if it's screwing up in my other computer. I don't want to delay things here too much. If I can start it over on the other side. Events. It's not, still not letting me stream. All right, well, I'll just go from here, and I'll upload it when I'm done. That I can do. And talk about what I'm going to talk about live on Spreker, though, for those who can meander over there. Of course, I had some video stuff playing, but again, I'll upload it when I'm done. It won't be a tremendously long show. I wanted to talk about it is the night before. It's the night before a lot of things. Now, it's actually 2 nights before the election, but it is the night before Guy Fawkes Day. If you recall the movie V for Vendetta, very good movie. And we're having our own, I guess, a little bit more, less fireworks. Our own kind of Guy Fawkes deal. So that is happening on Tuesday. But I wanted to say a few things on this. The left and right paradigm has been really going at this, and the problem is people who want to be a libertarian and say, well, I'd like to vote for someone else other than left and right. Well, that's fine, except it's locked into a duality. We're in a dualistic world. There's ones and zeros, and it's you can take your pick to see who would be the 1 or 0. What we're locked into. So the idea being is to knock out one of them, and then once that is done, you could bring in another. I mean, that's my thinking anyway. They came in with the Tea Party a while back, and then it was overtaken by the neocons. But in this case here, is I'm looking at it from a more libertarian, conservative libertarian aspect of it, constitutionalist, whatever. What the possibility here is to completely decimate the Democratic Party, and then bring in other candidates to go against the Republicans you don't like. I mean, it's the only way I could see. I mean, there's the way where if everybody got up and voted, well, then it'd be fine. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true if everybody did that, but it's not a realistic possibility. It's not realistic. And it's one thing about Donald Trump, the president, is that what he's doing doesn't fit a lot of my paradigm or somewhat libertarian. You know, he had big into the military and all. But I think Donald Trump is a realist. He wants to get things done. He got buildings done. He went through whatever he did to get that stuff done. And it takes there's a path through reality that needs to be done. And if he does nothing else but TKO the extreme left, that will be a blessing to allow others to step in there. So it's not a question of following the left-right paradigm. It's not a question of being, bought into the system, as a lot of people are saying, criticizing those who may support Donald Trump. I mean, I think Donald Trump is doing what he thinks is best, what he can. I mean, that's my thing. I mean, you think I'm deluded? Well, fine. All right. Let me, I have to do this here. Give me 1 second. Profile. Goes. People in the chat room are asking for feet to the fire in the Spreker. So that is how I see it's going on. I see you have a person step forward. He thinks he's doing best what he can for the system, and he's doing a lot of things that are good. He's not doing everything I'd like to. Syria, I'd like to see more friendly with Russia. But he's also realizing he's dealing with the deep state. He's got to do it all whilst, and people want everything to get done. They want it all done yesterday while standing on his head, juggling and hopping over hot coals. I mean, this is what the deal is here. And so I think that's the bottom line is that. So if you are a person who is, you are a person who is, oops, I messed up my screen here now, who is, it's not liking it, not going fast enough. There's certain things that aren't happening well. I mean, it's only, you only can do so much. Sure, you could do more if you have more. And that's why how come it didn't go through? That's why if we should vote in Republicans, especially Republicans that will follow Trump, Trump's agenda goes through, and then after this is all over, you have an election and get some real people in there. I mean, not saying he's not real, but you know what I mean? I think he's got a job to do. Some have asserted that he would not retire, but resign. Or wouldn't run again if he got all his stuff done, or if he took like 1.5 terms, he would resign because the ball was he had to do this, that, and the other thing. That's possible. Now, isn't this funny? I come across this on my list here. Doesn't the media remember this? Here's a picture of Trump getting the Ellis Island Award for contributing to the conditions of inner city black youths, standing alongside Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks, among others, who are getting the award. That's the racist. Trump the racist, the xenophobe. That's the part. It just goes on and on. You have videos of Barack Obama talking about not letting people in at the borders. Same thing with Nancy Pelosi. It's all the Hillary Clinton talk about building a wall or a barrier is how she phrased it. It's the part this is the part I'm hoping people get out and see. I'm hoping it gets out that this is ridiculous. This is all a big scam. I'm seeing people show up in, Spreker. He's not going to resign. He rejoins it. He enjoys it too much. Well, I mean, the point I'm getting at is he's got a mission to take care of. And he's doing it. Now, if you've been following him, you notice that in recent months he's been very calm. He's been very relaxed. He's been very unbothered by a lot of stuff going on. So, I mean, it's like something he knows something we don't. It's all going to come. So here's my assessment. I think I said it last week. I don't mean to be boring and redundant, but I don't know if you see these. I don't know if this is seen in there. I guess it is. But I think what'll happen is if there is a red wave, or a pink one at least, he will continue on what he's doing. He'll get more votes to get things through. He will fire people, bring in investigators, go after the DOJ, go after the FBI, follow the trail up through wherever it leads, the Clinton Foundation, if it does, even up to Barack Obama, whatever it takes. But he's got to have a majority in the House and Senate. Otherwise, they'll just impeach him. They don't need to have like a valid reason. They can just do it. You know, this is the funny thing about impeachment is that usually you're waiting to find something wrong, and yet they're doing it. Now, my thing just said that the streaming is good, but my numbers are saying it's shrinking, so I'm still not going to start it. I'm just going to upload it when I'm done. For those who are showing up for the video, I don't know. You know, the other talk show hosts in the past have said things, well, they're on to me, it's them, they're trying to block me and all that. And if you look at the people who actually listen to the show, at least by the numbers, it's not worth blocking. You know, there's people with millions and millions of subscribers. I got 1,600, and even that fell under 1,600. So I just think it's just the way it is, internet and stuff. Plus, it doesn't help for what I'm saying, and it does help people to get through it. So you never know. Anyway, so I think that's what needs to be done. So, I mean, to me, it is imperative to bring in as many as Republicans as possible. Now, if they don't do anything, if they turn their back on Trump, or if Trump, you know, does something, I don't know, he does it and then he does wrong. We were going down the toilet anyway. So to me, it's like giving him a chance by electing him. He's done a bunch of stuff. Give him a more chance by electing other people who will follow with him. Yeah, well, I can't worry about it. People are trying to listen to. There's somebody in Spreker. Is it sounding okay? I mean, some people are saying it isn't. It's working on and off. I don't know what to tell you. I think Ray's probably got a computer that doesn't have the proper code. I think he's a big Unix guy. Maybe there's some problems with the code in there. I can't help it. So you can download the show afterwards as well. I haven't been able to download it, so you can stream it, download it. You can do whatever you can. I have it set up so. Let me get back to this. So, what I'm saying is, to me, I took the day off. I'm going to lose a day's wage, which, you know, owning a truck and all that is a lot because you have to pay a lot along the way. So you lose a lot, you make some. I mean, you make a lot, you keep some. And when you don't work, you lose a lot. And I'm doing it so I can go vote. I didn't like the idea of doing pre-voting because they can be lost or corrupted. I'm not going to vote straight Republican because if you do that, they can always just somehow mark one Democrat along the way and it avoids the ballot. So it is that's what I'm going to do. All good. The sound's all good. Okay. So that is what I suggest. I suggest people should go out. If you think things are working, you might go out, vote straight Republican, all Republicans, give people in to do with Trump, and then see what he does. In another 4 years, vote him out. Throw away your voting card. You know. I mean, to me, it's so obvious that at worst, you would just see what happens. If anything, it's like, wow, this has been a trip. Let's see what happens. Now, I think that what will happen afterwards, if there is a red wave or pink one, they'll do what they're doing. They're not going to just stop. One thing I understand, and maybe many do, is that the people who are seeking power, all they know is power. They won't stop and go, oh, well, you know, I got millions of dollars. I'll go live on an island somewhere. No, it's not satisfying. When you are addicted to power, what you are, when you're on the negative side of the spiritual. Well, Ray, I'm saying I just got someone else who's there says it sounds good, so I don't know what to say. I see now I lost my. I'm gonna have to now look at the chat room. Lost my train of thought. That's one thing problem when you have a stream of consciousness. You know, when it flows, it's great. But when you blink, it's gone. So I would say just vote all Republicans in and see what happens. I mean, the worst that can happen in 2 years, you vote him out. And in 2 more years, you vote him out. I mean, come on. What are they going to do in 2 years? Whereas you already see what's lined up. They're going to try and impeach him, which how is that going to be good? The market's going to crash like a stone. How is that going to be good? Of course, that's what they want. What the power elite, they need power. Power is like a drug. Only power. And power is not having power. Power is using power. If you are in charge of something, that's not good enough. Being in charge of something's nothing. It's being able to tell people what to do. That's power. Being able to cause people grief, that's power. You can give them their wishes, but they must worship you for it, or otherwise forget it. It's not worth it. The way that works is they have to be able to push you around. So right now, these people are not in power. Now, granted, they're elected in their district, but that's obviously not good enough. They want to be head of these committees, and they want to push Trump out, and they want to beat him to death. I mean, they want him in prison to be tortured for the rest of his life. I mean, that's what they would want to see him done. Because how dare this guy come off? He's not a player. He's not a politician. He didn't play the game. He just comes off like some rich playboy here and just waltzes in and wins the election his first time ever running for office. And these guys have played the game. They have sold their souls, either literally or figuratively. They have done all these things that cause trouble, that took trouble to get there. And now this guy just walks in, and it pisses him off. I mean, that's where I think McCain was furious. He felt that he should have been president. Of course, Hillary felt that she should have been president. And he just comes in and does it. So they're out for blood. And it's not going to, okay, we took over, so now we're going to work things out. There is no compromise. There isn't any bipartisanship. There's nothing to work out. It's we want power, and we will punish you. And that punishment is going to come to us. If the market crashes, good. Good for him. Making money based on Trump being put in office and all that, good for you. Close industries that are starting back, good for you. You voted for that. You racist, whatever. You're not begging or worshiping at our feet. Well, good for you then. You deserve to have all this stuff happen. That's what you get when you step out of line. That's why I think a lot of people who are in the black or Hispanic community, I like what's going on. They're not going to say anything. They'll get tarred and feathered. So they might be quiet and vote in the voting booth for Trump because no one knows. So this is why myself thinks I can't imagine in my own mind why there wouldn't be at least a pink wave, just a gain. I don't get it. Traditionally it happens when the president becomes the other side. Well, traditionally, what's happening now is not traditional. All the things that are happening, these are all metrics being used that was used by Obama and Bush and all the others. This is not like he's taking and changing the metrics and acting like, oh, look at all the no, it's the same numbers, and it's working. You have Obama who laughed at him and said he couldn't do it, and so I don't want this to sound like this is like a political speech for Trump. This is looking at it like a chess game. And our goal is for freedom. Our goal is to be able to do what we can and not be taxed to death, not have a bunch of people. I mean, one thing is to help people get on their feet. That's one thing. One thing to keep people off their feet. That's another thing. And that's what we're looking at with this. Yeah, I'll see. The Democrat he's saying that in California things are aren't that great. The Republicans are voting with Democrats. Well, I mean, that's how they get elected, I guess. So I'm not even looking at California. I mean, if California can vote some Republicans, don't know what they would do. They might still stand against Bush. It's not a Freudian slip, Trump. So this is what I think. And when I bring up these issues like this, I mean, it's clearly the media, if they were doing what they're saying, they would know this stuff. Though to me, the media is one thing I was going to put for a title is the media is the enemy of the state. The one person, the one group that is the worst, the politicians who go against the people are bad. No question about that. And they shouldn't, and they are bad for that. And, there will be a circle in Dante's hell for them. But the media's job is to be watchdog for us, to let us know what's going on, because we're out working and paying bills and doing all this stuff. So when we're out there doing this, the media's job, I mean, they don't have to go out and dig ditches or whatever. Their job is this kind of a glamorous, nice, they're supposed to be like doing it. They're supposed to be going out and finding out the stuff, looking for corruption, looking for good stuff, coming up with the other side of the story that's being kept secret by those power people. That's their job. They have completely fallen down on their job. Not only that, they've gone the opposite, where they are apologists and liars for the dark side of the political agenda, which makes they are the enemy, of the people. There's no question about it. And I'm not a big fan of Fawkes either. Hannity, I don't know. I mean, I know Hannity for many years. He's a Republican. It's working out okay at the moment. Tucker seems to be looking into stuff. Laura Ingram's is just more polite than say, but I don't go with it. Any of it. I mean, I'm not thrilled with InfoWars and Alex coming up with his hyperbole and all his stuff. And he's got a good message of coming up what's going on. And then, you got to do all that kind of stuff because it sells. And there we go. I get sick by all this stuff, all of it. I'm glad InfoWars is doing it. I listen to it when I'm driving. I have to just take so much of it, and then I gotta go. But stuff's coming out there of value, though. That's good, as opposed to these other ones, which are just lying and being terrible, just terrible. So they are the enemy of the people, no question about it. And that goes from a lot of the print media as well, of course. I also want to mention, going in Hollywood. You got just look at this group of winners. You got Hollywood, you got the media, you have television and Hollywood. We'll kind of mix those together, and then you have the left politicians all talking on socialism, and none of them are actually giving up themselves to help it. No, they want you to give it. People are good at getting you, and you spend your time and money to do what they think should be done. Well, they can sit back and not. And let me see what else I had. There's a picture here. Speaking of that, we simply cannot allow people to pour in the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country. Barack Obama. This is what I mean. I cannot stand this stuff. I got a link to Marco Levin. Again, he's a constitutionalist, so he's going to be conservative constitutionalist. So, I mean, again, but the guy's points when he gets into this stuff are pretty good. Another one I have here, if president can't change immigration laws by executive order, then what was DACA? Trump is just clarifying what the Constitution says in an order. Obama just made up a new program that goes against the law. Julian Assange, apparently things are really getting down for him. If you notice, he doesn't tweak. He gets up in the morning and has a 4x4 room or something he lives in, and that's it. He's been doing that for months and months and months. So there's also talk of Ecuador wants him out. And so he'll dance into the hands of the British, who will turn him over to the U.S. And, this is where Trump could come. This would be if Trump's got a whole load of Republicans behind him. then he could do something about this and not face impeachment for everything he does. Gosnell, the movie, The Big Serial Killer, it is out, and the viewers are 90% of the viewers, over 1,500 at the time I did this, liked it. 98% like. 55% of the critics like it, but there's only 11 who bothered to review it. Because, any liberal's not going to want to see this because it tells you what's going on behind the abortion scenes. Oh, yeah, I got this when I go voting. You notice it doesn't have Make America Great on it, right? I just got the hat. Well, I remember there was a case that went to court that said, I remembered it as, Supreme Court got this, and it said that if you wore a red hat, you couldn't come in because that was associated with Trump. Well, I was wrong. Actually, it was you couldn't wear a Make America Great Again hat. He was prevented from wearing it to vote, and he went to the Supreme Court, and they ruled that Make America Great Again is not specifically tied to a candidate. So, for example, if it said, vote Trump, make America great again, that would be no good. But make America great again is just a phrase. It's not necessarily automatically and solely used with Trump. So you could actually go in the vote with a Make America Great Again hat, which I don't have. I have a Trump hat, and then I bought that. So that's why I posted it up there, is that people could go in there, because it doesn't have candidate who's running his name on it, and it's not saying vote Republican or vote Democrat. It's making a statement, make America great again, which has been used by a few candidates. I think Reagan said it, and Trump said it. So there's a little something there if you want to. I'm going to cause a little. I got the red might cause enough trouble anyway, because all know what a red hat signifies. I mean, that's what I was thinking of. But the people in my area are somewhat pro-Trump anyway, so it's probably like, walking into downtown Chicago. Speaking of that, Barack Obama is campaigning in Chicago. And I'm looking at that going, what? Why would he campaign in Chicago? Chicago is about as democratic as you could possibly get. I've lived in it all my life, all around it anyway. I've been out of it for a few years. But there aren't any Republican. There's not a There's a Republican Party of Illinois, and there's just nobody running Republican in Chicago. It's all Democrat, like all the way through. So Barack Obama in Chicago campaigning. Now, I understand it's going to be on carried. I saw there were 7,000 people who saw it, which is about 1/4, 1/5 of what sees a Trump rally. And I didn't get to see how many people were there, but that's not the point. The point, I think they put it in Chicago because they know they could have a good following that will actually come out to there, a decent following anyway, enough for film. And it's being used to project out through the media. I think Washington Post had it online, probably been carried by CNN and MSNBC and the rest. So it's not meant to campaign in Chicago. It's putting together a backdrop for his and others who spoke to try and get people to vote Democratic. The thing about Trump is he's going to areas where they need certain people to win. So he's not going to his fan base, though a lot of the states, all of them are red, but they're trying to get red senators. If I can use the word red, it's so funny. Red senators and representatives. I mean, red used to be communist. That's pretty funny. Now blue is the communist. But here's the thing. I'll play this. They have the when Trump came on the scene, the people cheered. I don't know. Well, I'll just play it. I'm going to go past the little YouTube ad. Hold on, let me open it.
At 9 p.m. tonight, my campaign team is bringing me an updated list of my supporters.
Right. Now, I want to say I started this. You see the line. This whole line is a song. I'm proud to be an American. So at 2 minutes, he enters with that song on. Now, I didn't bother to share it because somebody might not get the point when I'm sharing on this. So that 2 hours and 13 minutes of cheering while the song is on. Okay, and now the song ends.
Thank you very much.
That was 1 minute.
Thank you.
So it's been 3 minutes since the song started, 1 minute since the song ended.
Thank you very much. Wow. I don't know. That's some crowd. Whoa.
It's now been 4 minutes since the song started and he entered, and it's 2 minutes after the song ended.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I see these signs all over the place. Tigers for Trump. I like that. I like that.
All right. There you go. Go back here, flip all these camera things for the video. Main cam, and I got to figure out what I was doing. So that just goes to show the enthusiasm that's out there. Now it's in Missouri, which it's a red state, I guess. I guess it's mixed. You have St. Louis, which is a high population. So I guess it's not a bona fide, solid red. But this is the kind of enthusiasm that's out there. You have the mainstream media. I mean, you have Stormy Daniels on there talking about the size of President Trump's penis on a mainstream news. Did they do that? Talking about Kennedy? Well, it's not because it's Democrat Republicans, because back then they would never do that. They would be roasted alive. But now they're desperate because of what's going on, and they're calling out the most aggressive, what would be the deepest blue of blue on their side to get out and do stuff, and they're hoping to kowtow down the rest of the people. That's the best thing I could think of. Now, do I have Trumps over my truck? No. I don't wear any Trump material when I'm out on the road. I mean, first off, I don't know if my company, even though I'm my own person, I'm under their banner. There might not be any politics at all because, but also you have some very of the violent types out there. Now, if I'm accosted and I'm on the street doing something, that's fine. But, when it comes to driving the truck and all that, I'm not going to decide to take things head on there. I'll take it on in my neighborhood, or when I'm walking, I go to the store, I have Trump shirt stuff on and all that when I go out and about. In fact, I wanted to go down to Trump Tower. My sister literally begged me not to because they didn't want to see me killed. I don't know if it's that bad in Chicago, but I don't have. I've been out of it for a few decade or so. So and before that I was out for a while too. So I don't have that kind of insight on it. But let me see if I can get some more stuff in here before. There's where you left off. Proud. Yeah, this is interesting. You know, South Africa. I lost a cursor there. South Africa, China's getting around. China is getting into South America and South Africa. And now China is in South Africa, and this is Rosanna, who is from South Africa. She keeps a lot of stuff out there about the executions and murders that's going on that, of course, isn't happening. But now the Chinese have set up a Chinese police the area with Chinese language. That's very interesting. Can you imagine you had a foreign country setting up police stations in your country? That lets you know what's going on over there as they get rid of stuff. This is very interesting. Isigora, it's going to be a blockchain-based internet that relies on everybody who's part of it to keep their computer on. You know, remember how Napster used to be? Or how these, what are they called? I can't call it. File sharing and all that. I can't think of the name of the protocol now. But this idea is that the people who joined would leave their computers on, and they would become part of this, quote, internet that's going through the system. Amazing security. It's run on cryptocurrency. So if your system is being used, or you earn crypto. If you want to do something, you spend that crypto. You could buy it with fiat currency, to start off or whatever. Very interesting idea. I put it up there. There's another link for another. I got to see if I can scroll back now because I went over it. Sorry about this. Here we go. Speaker browser. It's another idea where the idea of the browser is set up so that the internet goes through this browser. And when I say the internet, it's an internet that's laying on top of and separate from, the prying eyes on the internet. And so your browser would be a window into this whole internet of browsers. And so there's a bunch of stuff coming out there that would allow you to start your own website and stuff, and you would run it presumably on your computer, and it would have the shared access, I guess, using torrents. That's what I was thinking of. Maybe they used the torrents. There we go. Thanks, Calvin. Maybe they used the torrent idea to, that's how they send the data around, and it's stored in bits and pieces around, so nobody's going to be buried in bandwidth for anybody. But those two items, I'll put them in the links below, are something to look onto. People are working on things, and you may need to start over again. In other words, it might take a little work at first, but the internet itself was work at first. I remember going on back before there was American People, or before there was AOL, it was called American People Link. That was the first big group that you can go on and do things, and it was still mostly text. And that was on a 386 at the time that I built. And going back further than that, I used to be on those, gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. God, I should just stop. I'm just falling apart here. The FidoNet. But I'm thinking in it, it's like I can't see that thing in front of me, but I can see all around me. So if I can turn my peripheral vision, I can see it. And that's how it's working in memory. So FidoNet, I used to talk to people around the world through Fido, and they collected and they uploaded it at night, and so forth. So it all started out slow, pre-internet. And when the internet did come up, you had to know what you were doing. You couldn't just do it. I remember my first connection that I had, other than American People Link, when that went under, I went with the Juno to go on the internet, and then America Online when it came, and then got off of that and moved on. And so it's just because now you can just simply log in and do all this stuff, it'll take the superficial use people will stay where they're at, and I'm not even saying it's a bad thing, okay? But so these areas that are coming out are going to get involved, and it'll allow you to help. And so if you can't afford to, say, have a website per se without having one where a million ads and all this stuff, this system will allow you to do that. And people who use your system or are benefit by it, I mean, you can actually earn these cryptos. So I think it's a very good system to look into now. So you may have to have a bit of a reset. So it may get a little less easy at first. But when you have people, I mean, somebody's laying out some cash for this. It just doesn't happen, right? So there's people getting involved in this, and they're putting out cash and their life on the line. And not on the line, but they're spending their time, serious time, doing it. So Gab is back online. It took a while. They got their domain off. If you recall, to say I told you so, but going back a few weeks when they were knocking Alex Jones and others off Facebook, I said the next logical step, since ICANN is no longer it's not an American institution, it's now worldwide. They can turn around and pull your CAM. Now, in this case, ICANN didn't do it, but whoever their provider was for BigAb.com, because the guy who was the killer shooter was using Gab along with Twitter and along with Facebook. Of course, they did not happen to them, but they got their .com pulled, and they had to move it somewhere else, and it takes time. So now they're back online. I wanted to mention that. Caravan. I think I closed the page. Let me get this page. I'm going to have to go through a bunch of... Oh, no, this is not what I was looking at. That's not the YouTube I was looking at. Oh, this is Stefan Molyneux. Okay, no, this is not the one I was just looking at. Gosh, I lost it. Darn. The Caravan. Oh, I must have lost the page. Darn. Maybe did I post it up here? Hopefully I posted it before I lost it. Apparently not. Well, the Caravan, by the way, where they are at the moment, they're about 800 to 1,000 miles away from the U.S. Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. The header didn't look right on the tab. This is MarketWatch.com, and this is the location on November the 1st where the Caravan was. And they have at least 800 miles if they want to go to, I guess it's Brownsville, to get to that 800 miles. So obviously you're not going to get here before the election, like some had thought. And that's a brutal trip. And so I know people are saying, yeah, they're getting money, they're getting food, and they're getting rides and all that. Yeah, they are. But they're not sitting back relaxing in a pleasure cruise. So these people have to go all the way up there and have to go through the area. And so we'll see. But that's where they're currently at. And according to Trump, who's very relaxed about this, don't worry about it, you'll see. We got a plan. I'm presuming they're building some type of border. And I saw a video that used a little logic that said that they're probably going to do this stuff on the Mexican side, set up camps, tent camps, and everybody could go through the process of claiming refugees and being examined before they get into the United States. Now, that's fine. I mean, no one says it has to be in the United States unless Mexico is going to complain about it, but I'm going to guess they're not going to complain about it. And so the idea being is that they're going to set up these huge tent camps that people could live on the other side while they're processed before those are let in. And they can wait for their hearing, on the other side. This is one of the theories people have been talking about, and I think that would work. So this is Trump and his people may have figured it out to not fall for it, They're going to try and have photo ops. They're going to, imagine they already did this. What they had the kids in a cage, which turned out to be a picture used in a protest. So they were in there by themselves purposely for a protest, and that got on the internet. You got the one young girl standing there crying on Time magazine cover, which turns out that she wasn't separated from her parent. And, you have all this nonsense going on the other side. So, they're going to wait for something. Something's going to happen, and they're going to, But that's why I'm glad they didn't make it here before the election, so this stuff wouldn't complicate things. Since Trump is not saying, we're going to gun him down, they're not giving him any ammo, really, to work with. People, I think, have already made up their mind. I mean, for the most part, I think there'll be people who go in to actually vote and go like, oh, what the heck? And, those people, I think, most likely would go for Trump than against him. I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't been out there talking. But what I see happening, though, is if Trump loses, there's going to be chaos if he wins or loses. No, I shouldn't say chaos. There's going to be trouble, whether he wins or loses. If he wins, again, I talked earlier, power will not give up power. I mean, the dark side, all the way down to Satan or whatever, all he wants to do is boss. You can't, somebody who is negative cannot enjoy life without pushing people around. I mean, so that there's not an option of cooperation and, well, we'll wait till next time. No, these people have had it. They're old. They're in power. They were almost there. And Hillary would have won. They would have been going forward with this stuff. It would have been all done and over. And then Trump came in, so they're furious. So they're not going to stop. So if Trump wins, depending how good he wins, if there's a blue or red wave, which I'm hoping for, then he can go in and fire these people, bring in real investigators, real FBI, DOJ people. They can go in and continue the investigation and bring charges to any of all people, no matter who they are. If he wins, the left will have to go to plan, it's either around A, B, C, D, E, maybe F. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I am worried about a ultimate false flag where there's some nukes that have been hidden that go off, and you got to worry about somebody doing something over to Russia, because Russia is being real patient, I think. I think old Vlad there knows that Trump was fighting the deep state, and Vladimir Putin did have to fight the deep state on his end. Still does, probably, to some degree, the old guard. And Trump made it give and let him know, I may have to say some things, keep some people happy. I may have to do a few things. I'll do the best I can, but, be patient. And I think for credit to him, Vladimir Putin is being very patient by being antagonized. Intimidated and antagonized is antagonated. So I think he's doing a pretty good job of being patient, but if something happens, I mean, he will attack. I mean, I'm not blaming him, So I can't see these people going away quietly. They're going to go away in chains, or they're going to do a scorched earth behind them as they leave. Unfortunately, that's all I can see on that. So Trump wins, there's going to be trouble. But if Trump loses, there's going to be big trouble. So I vote for the trouble while doing good rather than trouble while having the whole thing unravel. And we'll see. I took the day off, and I may hop online. I mean, not that I can, who am I to do it? I could just, talk about what I see is going on. So there's the caravan. To me, I think a vote for Trump is sort of like, I had the opening graphic. I thought this was the feed here. I had the opening graphic, which I can't show now, I guess, that has the V for Vendetta guy. There's this guy here. Trump sort of is. He sort of is that guy. He sort of is the people standing forward, standing up. I mean, you can call me a fool. I know, like, I've had people who are extreme liberal radicals who, are sickened when I talk like that. Like, they're disgusted. I fell for this. They're disgusted. It's like, what? But I think that Trump is really, is like your big brother coming in. It reminds me of Perry Mason. If you're, of course, you got to be older, I guess, to watch Perry Mason. But Perry Mason was he's rich, kind of a playboy type. I mean, in the books, he was more of a playboy, but on TV, he's just more dashing, I guess the word would be. And he would help the person, a man or a woman, who would be in trouble. The little guy, he thinks they were innocent. He believes them. He proves them innocent, and does it all, free of charge. Or like one case, this woman says, I demand payment, and she gives him $3. It says, I know you charge a lot, so, and he's like, oh, that's about right, That's why I look at Trump as kind of a Perry Mason. Trump is also kind of a Godzilla. He's a natural-born enemy of these people, and he's coming in with his radioactive breath, and no pun intended, and he's stomping on everything. So if you want to say who's Donald Trump to me he's a Perry Mason and Godzilla combined. And that's just what we need right now. That's just the kind of person you need to go in there and clean out shop. You need to have someone who's going to be able to follow you and help and do work, and he had to do a lot of cleaning in his own closet. There's still more to come. So that's why I would say to go out and vote Republican, because you want to decimate the Democratic Party, decimate it, and then you can start bringing in libertarian-type people, and they could run in the system. I mean, you have to just destroy one side, and then you could start to bring in a new one. If you look back throughout history, the Whigs and the other parties that were there, Republicans came, they were a new party. This is what I'm saying. I think you destroy the Democratic Party, you get rid of all of the people involved in that. Then, and what I mean, get rid of them politically, they're no longer viable. Then you start another party. And also, CNN and the Don Lemons and all these knuckleheads all disappear too. In fact, I have a friend, Bruce McDonald, who has a show on Revolution Radio. I think it's around 11 Eastern, if I'm correct, be 10 Central. He does a lot of good stuff where he reads the actual publications from the. Of course, now I'm not going to remember the name of it because I'm looking right at it. Oh gosh, who are those? Trilateral Commission. What are all those people called? He reads their actual publications and their writings on their website and in their writings for their own people. And he is saying that they're pretty much looking like they're going to let Trump be Trump. They think that, somewhat unstoppable. There's been some talk about having something behind him that's helping him. So they're kind of letting it go, and seeing what happens. So there's, and I said to him, I said, well, a lot of these people didn't get the memo because they're going nuts on CNN. And he seemed to think that they're going to be just sacrificed, sacrificial lambs. That all these people all the crazies are going to get lopped off in order to bring out the more reasonable people. So there's other people with theories going on based on writings and so on by the what is the name of that? Foreign Affairs. Something. Academy of Foreign Affairs. I can't think of the name of it. Come on. Calvin, where are you? You still out there? Not Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations. There we go. CFR. He's been reading their writings, and they've been pretty much, they've kind of accepted Trump, kind of gave in, like, well, Trump's here to stay. Let's see what we can do. We'll go for the ride and see what we can do. So I think it's very important to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, I recommend highly people vote Republican, not to vote Republican, but to vote for people who are going to support Trump. We'll put it that way. Trump does his deal. He cleans out. You'll see what the next 2 years are. You can vote them all out then. You could burn your card. You could move to Australia or, you could, whatever. To me, it's worth another 2 years to see what happens. So there you go. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Anything going on in either chat room? Any kind of questions or comments that I should deal with? CFR Kelvin comes under CFR. Anybody but Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, that's a way to look at it, I think. Anybody but Nancy Pelosi. Schumer, Pelosi, and what's her name? I can't think of her name now. Maxine Waters. I tell you, when I saw that bit where Bill O'Reilly saw Maxine Waters and he said, "Look, she's got a James Bond wig on," I thought I was going to die laughing. And I didn't take it racist at all. You see, this is the thing. When you're like a normal person, you're a normal group of a person, you're in the hopper to get made fun of. So if you're varying races, the caricatures and the uniqueness of the races, all that's fair game to be goofing around. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be mean about things. I didn't think that was mean at all. That was hysterical. And, of course, after that, the memes come out with both of them together having similar hair or whatever. And it wasn't a black thing at all. I mean, this is the unfairness and the just evilness of the left to turn everything into a race. So I think that's about it. I'm going to, for those who have been listening, I'm going to up, not that I have a whole lot of visuals that are that important to see, but I will upload the YouTube after we get done here. I really recommend to go vote and vote in a Trump Republican and just see what happens. To me, you can kind of guess what's going to happen the other way. They're going to try and impeach him. If they have the Senate, they will. If they don't, they'll try and impeach him. It'll fail. They won't do they won't pass any of the bills he wants. They'll try to stop the wall. I mean, that's just all it is. Will be a complete hack job. And in another 2 years, you'd have to vote and go. But see, we should have voted these people out. You know, and now you're 2 years behind. Well, people are coming in the chat room going, "What's going on?" Well, no video. I don't know why. Now it's working. According to my calculations, it's working. But I just didn't start the video in the middle. I'm going to turn around. Yeah, nice radio show without the visibles. Well, I've done the radio for, we're filling up to 16 years now. So this whole video thing's only like 2 years old. And I only did that because it accesses a group of people that would never find via radio. And I stopped doing my own radio broadcast and went to Spreker because it's so easy. And it also, there's a group of people in Spreker who would turn around and find me who wouldn't have been able to do. So that's why the audio's on Spreker, and I won't ever abandon the audio. In fact, that's really mostly all you need. But I've been trying to do video stuff. A lot of people say they like, to see me talking more personal. I don't know, And, I have a hard time watching other videos because a lot of the guys in the videos and gals are so into them doing video. Like, it's like, oh, I'm on cam. Here I am. And, I'm so glad you're here. And subscribe here and do this and do, And it's like, let's get to the point. So I apologize if I come across even close to that. But what I want to do is I'm using this medium to give more stuff. Because you can see I still got headphones on. I do the mic because I got to hear the sound. I got to do it. That's why when I have guys who just see then he got the mics from the videos, from the cams, and he can't hear them. You got the room noise and all that. But it's important. A lot of the data is important, So it's not the form, it's the substance that matters. And so there have been people out there who did, crude video, but they got good information, so that's fine. And most of it can be done audio. And I think I've done a couple audio only shows for reasons. Like I said, I will upload this. So I think that's about it. Yeah, continue. Yeah, see, there is a dark side to this with Trump winning, and I'll take it. I'll take that dark side chance because there may be divine not that Trump's divine, but he's standing up for the right principles. And when someone does that, there's a blessing. But the continuity in government, in California and down in the dungeons, and if something goes goofy, then, Trump gets killed by this false flag, and then they take over underground. There's all that. That's why I don't want to go there, because it doesn't matter at that point. It just doesn't matter at all. That's why people who have food and cash stashed and all that are, they may have a leg up, but still, I'm going to stick with some kind of spiritual force going on here. That this is this is the so-called apocalypse, where God is revealing the hearts of the person, the real. I mean, you see him, all your friends people have gone nuts and been turned nasty and all this stuff. It shows the real heart and soul. That's what I think the spiritual part of it is. And then the next part is, what are we going to do about it? Because, there is a free will here, even though we're being manipulated. God will never force his way on us. That's where I disagree with a lot of the theology. And all right, I think that's it. We're going to hit the magic button here, and then I will upload this, and we will see you. And if you're hanging around on Tuesday, I may drop on and talk about what's going on. So I don't know, I don't have the newsletter up and running and stuff, but if you're subscribed to YouTube, fine. You hit the subscribe, hit the little bell button, all that. If I pop on to talk, or I schedule something, it'll come up and you'll get known. It's best I can do at this point, and we'll see what happens. So there you go.